method of necessity, the method I use of necessity, means that Anwar and his friends are constantly shifting games, shifting roles. Sometimes they're glorifying what they do, sometimes they're celebrating it, sometimes they're lamenting it, sometimes it's a very dark thing they're doing, and this forces them to keep swapping. And the moments more than ever when I think they're in between spaces are what's so important. You know, these moments where Anwar's lying in his bed thinking, or the moments where Anwar's watching the scenes, and he's thinking, how do I relate now to what I am in this image? And he says it's beautiful scenery, and one of the times he says it's beautiful. He's watching the cowboy scene. He says it's beautiful scenery. It's a magnificent. It's humorous. It's a beautiful family movie, even though it's about death. And then I ask the question: how will the children of the communists be able to enjoy this movie? The children of your victims, will they be able to enjoy this movie? And his first instinct is simply to say yes, of course, because it's an enjoyable movie. But then there's a doubt. So these contradictions, these are the moments that really define, or not define, but constitute us as human beings and constitute Anwar as a human being. The only problem I have with saying we're putting him under a microscope is that I think the film also positions the viewer in that same constantly oscillating, constantly shifting space. And so we cannot say that, I like that you set up this camera and then you sat down next to me in front of it, because the camera is a mirror for both of us.
I'm trapped with you. And
our dialogue. Yeah, well, it's not, you're not a scientist gazing at me. And I think that's what I'm trying to say here, is that the viewer is not looking at the characters from without. The viewer is actually also, I think, going through a kind of a roller coaster, a kind of wild shifts between the absurd and the horrifying, between empathy and repulsion with Anwar.